We're back. We're back. So,
What's that happy?
everyone,
What was that
let's
happy
play
for?
the intro credits. Right. Okay.
No.
No, right. Okay. Oh, wait a second. No, I'm joking. He's not here.
Oh.
Right. Let's go on to whatever else you guys want to speak about. Yeah, I might send this laptop flying back. Apparently, it can do all the stuff, but I'll tell you the weird glitch with it. I'd switch it on, and it would just be a black screen. And I ended up speaking to the tech support, and they were like, "Do you have things plugged into it?" I was like, "Well, a couple. I've got like 7 monitors and like 9 hard drives." And so when I unplug it, it's just like so simple. I unplug it, switch it on, it works, and then as soon as it's on, I plug it back in. Problem solved. But I shouldn't pay a lot of money to have to do anything. At this stage of my life, I just want everything to be automatic. Right. So, what have you guys? Give me some hot takes. Cap, what's on your mind?
Okay, I've been watching Creature Commandos, approved the butt shots, but like, the thing is, like, it's a good show, but there's one episode really depressed the fuck me out. It's a story about like the Frankenstein story, and I don't know why. I mean, like, I'm not saying that like DC story is not very dark. Like the Justice League show was, even though it was a kids show, it had really like very tragic elements to it. But I didn't look at it and go, "Oh, why the hell did I watch this? I didn't need this today." Like, Kid Me never had that problem. But I saw this episode of like Frankenstein, and it's basically an old lady taking care of him after he got hurt. And it feels like he's actually showing his good side and everything, even though, again, it's like the Suicide Squad, so like no one is a good guy anyways. And he ends up murdering her, and then taking her dog. And that's like,
Spoiler
what
warning. Right. Okay. Don't worry. Thanks, Cap. Right.
I'm saying you don't need to watch this.
And in episode 8, this happens. Right.
Yeah.
No.
So that really did, draw me back. So like, why are you putting in this in a cartoon? I mean, like, I'm angry that Disney Mufasa is a wussy movie, that we don't get to see any cool lion fights. But like in this, I have the opposite problem. It's just like too much. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah. Okay, look, one thing which I know, this is, I guess, a spoiler for Creature Commandos. You guys have probably already seen it. But they have shown off Batman, and this is the first look at the DCU Batman.
Gutty Batman. Batman's good.
Oh.
He's back.
He is a tank.
He is. He's like Arkham, the Arkham games jacked up Batman.
No, David, that's not jacked up. That's gutted up. He's big in the gut.
Big up Batman. Now, I do know about this, but go on, Dev.
James Gunn, I read somewhere online that James Gunn said he was based on Alan Ritchson from Reacher.
Yeah, he doesn't have a gut. He has muscles. That looks like a gut. That's
well, apparently, something I read from James Gunn was that they haven't made up their mind the direction they're going with Batman yet. So they told them to put it more in silhouette. But when they first were doing this, it wasn't. But then the other revelation, if it's true, that came out was that Creature Commandos, as it was being written, was still part of the DCEU. Mm-hmm. That was already greenlit, and it was still going to have Henry Cavill and Batfleck and all this stuff. So that probably is still Batfleck, who they've just put into more shadow.
So wait, you've got all these comics, all these games, all these stories related to Batman, and they cannot think of a single thing to do with him.
Who said that?
Well, you just said James Gunn was that we don't know what to do with Batman.
No. Okay, well, no. This will bring me on to the slightly bigger point. I read yesterday that apparently Matt Reeves has said that there is still a chance that Pattinson could end up as the DCU Batman. They might intertwine these worlds because obviously they've got the shit show that, is the legacy of not having a complete clean break from what came before and saying it's a reboot of all of these tendrils coming through from what was from yesteryear still existing, the main thing of which was the Batman. And they're like,
Jason.
well, that's Elseworlds. We're going to have our own Batman. And apparently, the Batman 2 won't come out until 2027 or 2028. But a year before that, the DCU Batman film is going to come out.
What?
So, yeah, I
That's
think
going
it's
to confuse the shit out of people.
Well, so that's why they're saying there is some talk saying, look, the Batman was well received. People liked the Penguin. We need to keep going with something that's working. Shall we just say that that's Batman, and then we've got Batman sorted? Go on, Dev.
Okay, so do you remember in 1996 where there was literally a rule where Batman can only appear on one show? And then,
No, I was too busy eating grass at that point in 1996.
Okay, so in
I
the
was not
animated,
born yet.
when they were doing the animated series, there was literally a rule of Batman could only appear in the Batman show until the Batman show was over.
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
He
But
did
I
appear in the
knew
Superman the animated series, didn't he? There, like, was it
As
they
a
were running
movie,
through
it was part of the movie. So it doesn't-
I know with Batman that when they did, what was it? Birds of
Justice
Prey,
League.
the TV show. They
Yeah.
wouldn't allow Batman to appear in that. I think wasn't the idea that Smallville was originally going to be a Batman show, and they were
Yes.
like, we're doing something else with Batman soon. So they ended up making it a Superman origin show instead.
The
And
best
then,
part- yeah.
literally, when they did Gotham, they were like, you can do a Commissioner Gordon series, but not a Batman series. So,
Yeah.
it rings true.
And like originally, like in the early seasons, Clark actually had a friend called Wayne Knight, who was a billionaire.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But
Wayne
like,
Knight.
flash forward to last year, where we had like 5 Batman at the same time.
Yeah. I
We
know.
had
Well,
Michael Keaton,
crazy.
Ben Affleck, Dietrich Bader,
Who's
and
that?
the animated one.
Oh, okay.
But
Kevin Conroy, the other animated one.
Yeah.
Like Robert Pattinson,
Well,
and
look, in the
Yes,
Flash movie, they literally had 4 different Batmen if you count the Adam West cameo. It ended with George Clooney. It had Batflick in the beginning. It had Michael Keaton in it as well.
Yeah.
Did I say 4? No, well,
Yeah.
and maybe another one. I forget. So yeah, so Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, George Clooney, and Adam West, all in the same movie, at the same time that Pattinson was a thing, at the same time that Joker, the first Joker movie, had a different actor playing young Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
It was like there was 5 different active live action Batmen at that time.
And don't forget as well, like it was the end of Gotham, so David Mazouz was also Batman.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh God, no! I can't think of that bat suit and that face. That was horrible.
I need to look it up. I know I've seen it, but I can't remember it.
It looked shite.
It was bad.
It looked so bad.
Batman suit.
like this.
Ugh. It is bad. Right, let's see if I can bring up.
No, don't bring it up. No.
No, he didn't see it. He needs
Do
to
not
see it.
curse my eyes with this image.
This, oh my god, they actually made this and put it on television. That
Yeah.
Ah!
is okay. What is wrong with it? There is something wrong with it. But like
It's not that bad.
that bit, I don't mind. But there is something wrong with the face.
It's very
Zoom in,
wrong with the
Dave.
face. It's the face that does it for me.
Zoom in, Dave.
I don't know if I can. Hang on. Was that him? Who's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's him. That's him.
Okay, but that is obviously where he's not quite evolved
Okay.
yet.
Yeah. And in the last episode, he's that.
No, I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Let's see if I
Cheap
can.
Batman, the one
see,
who
this
is
does get
rubber
cooler again.
rubber.
Do you know what? I was saying this. I can't remember to who, like a day or two ago. I get that each time they do, like when I watched the Batman recently, and I would say the costume in that, I like it's a nice idea. Well, I'm going to make the guns into the bat symbol, right? There's some logic to the meaning of that. Otherwise, the costume is shit. And when you look at David Corenswet, the Superman costume is shit. You don't need to make it different just so that it's like, well, it's a new version. Why? Just Like
No,
Dean
you can make
Cain,
it version. Just don't look it like it sucks.
Dean Cain's Superman costume was essentially exactly the same as Christopher Reeves. So just do. It's like this is the Superman costume. This is the Batman costume. Go on, Cap.
Okay, several things. Even though, like I said, you guys have been saying, like James, I'm having a hard time like changing things up. The one thing he clearly fully destroyed is the DC animated series. Like he destroyed all the animated work that has come before. He basically ended the DC animated universe.
And sort of, he ended the movies, but the TV show's still going on.
Yeah, that may be a weird thing, but like they ended the Justice Ultimate, the New 52. They're all gone. Like no, they're dead. Okay.
That was a pre-gun decision, by the way. They wanted
That
to
was a
restart
pre-gun
the gun.
decision. Okay, but like now you do still have like Jason Momoa as well, which I think is the best casting. By the way, I think Jason Momoa's personality is like full on lower. He was never meant to be like Aquaman. But guess you're getting Jason Momoa back. Why didn't you do that with Henry Cavill? Like I can't see the budget thing anymore. I always thought it was the budget, but I revoked the name. But in any case.
I don't have anything to show you. Right.
But,
1 second.
But in any case, right, you can bring Jason Momoa, who I think is probably the same bill as Henry Cavill. You could have brought Henry Cavill. So, like, I don't think James Gunn is winning any favors. Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
And he's gone now.
Yes. Right. Okay, Dev.
The reason they brought Jason Momoa and not Henry Cavill is because, first of all, like Lobo is to Jason Momoa is what Deadpool is to Ryan Reynolds. It's literally it's his favorite character and who he like bases his personality off, basically.
I would say Henry Cavill's basically Superman. Like he's the face
like,
that everyone now knows.
I get what you're going for, but like, so Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool, and it was like a bad version. And then they were like, well, he's going to play it again. And clearly it was two separate characters, but it was proper Deadpool now. Yeah. Jason Momoa was Aquaman. And the second one was shit.
No, but like, what I mean is, no, because basically, personality-wise, as in, like, Ryan Reynolds acts like Deadpool in real life.
Yeah, Jason Momoa acts like Roman Reigns. So...
Yeah.
Also, the issue with not having Cavill is not the money. The money was never the issue. The issue is James Gunn doesn't want Cavill to correct him, and he will.
Maybe. I don't think it comes down to James Gunn though. I think whoever's in charge of DC, they hate Henry Cavill. They hate Zack Snyder. They hate the guy who played Cyborg. They had all these issues with loads of them. They had issues with Gal Gadot at like a couple of points as well. And they were like, screw all of it. Like Batfleck quit as well. You know, they probably tried to get him back. They were like the only one who didn't, like, look what happened with Ezra Miller. They were like, do you know what, Jason? You're the only one who didn't piss us off in some tremendous way.
And that guy turned out to be an awesome. No, like the point is, Dave, like he's the only one who had no problem with Warner Brothers, and he's the most terrible person there is. So apparently, the problem is not the other people.
Why is Momoa a terrible person?
Yes, enlighten us, Cat.
I say Ezra Miller. I'm talking about Ezra Miller.
Oh, okay,
Jason
I'm telling you, Ezra Miller has some dirt on like a higher exec.
Could be that.
Like, you cannot start a cult while... you cannot promote a movie while starting a cult, running away, terrorizing a whole country, and...
What if
having a shootout with police?
No, like
that. Speaking of which...
I don't think he had a shoot... Did he have a shootout? I know he was arrested.
He was in a cabin being surrounded by police, and he had a gun in the cabin.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah, like what if Ezra Miller's cult is the one who's like running the DCU? Like he's the one who's like pulling the strings.
Fun fact, I keep joking that Jared Leto's cult is the one running it. Because Jared Leto also has one, but they're peaceful. Okay.
Speaking of, I would like to promote the cult of MCology. All hail Lord Stephen the Duck.
Fun fact, during the first lockdown, Jared Leto was unaware because him and his group were off on a deserted island somewhere,
Wow.
and they came back to lockdown.
Shit, that is like literally, that could be a movie. That is like 28 days later, waking up out. Like, where is everyone? They just like go into like the city centre and it's everyone like no one's about. And they like see people coming out all in masks and stuff.
He has toilet paper in his hand. There's just these rabid people going, he's got toilet paper.
Okay, but who would be Jared
Why are they
Leto?
squirting at us? Like, what is this antibacterial? Oh my
Who would
god.
play Jared Leto?
Jared Leto would play Jared Leto. He's already an actor. He doesn't need someone to play him.
Joe
Well,
Courtney.
it does.
Joe Courtney playing Jared Leto.
Boy.
Yeah.
Is that Tom Hardy play Jared? No, have Tom Hardy play Ezra Miller, and Jared Leto played by Guy Courtney.
What is
But
happening right now?
God knows.
But you know what's been like currently? What are the famous directors now in working for VB? Because I know that Christopher Nolan's out with what's that movie Tenet, where they like released it on streaming, and he was like "fuck you" and he left. He wasn't going to work with Warner Brothers now. And right, I know that Snyder's out. Like, what sort of directors do they have? Like Warner Brothers, like.
Do they even have money?
Do you know what they're about to have the Harry Potter like 10-year TV show thing, so they'll be fine. They've still got.
No, they've already had that, haven't they? That already came out, didn't they?
I don't think that's going to be
You
like
think the
as
Harry
much of
Potter
a.
TV show has come out.
No, not the TV show. The anniversary thing.
Yeah, but who cares about that? They're doing a whole reboot that's going to give them 10 years of absolute bang for their buck. So
I will see it when it hits 10 years because, like, I don't have that much confidence in the show would go for like 10 years. I just don't.
David, you see bang for their buck, but ask Amazon about those Rings of Power.
Yeah.
You know, but here's the thing. Like the difference is like any controversies aside over J.K. Rowling, she is making sure that they're not spoiling it. Whereas J.R. Tolkien was like 60 years dead, where they're like, oh, perhaps we can just put Gandalf in the wrong age and stuff like this. You know, so she won't allow them to destroy something that big because, like,
Is she involved in the development of the show? We're not sure.
Yes, she is.
she's
She is
very
slightly involved.
No, I think she's very involved, right? And with like even the original movies, I think she said that because originally they were like, Steven Spielberg, will you direct Harry Potter? And he wanted to like cast the kid from like AI or whatever that movie was, Haley Joel Osment as Harry Potter, and she was just like, no, Harry Potter is English. And so then like Steven Spielberg was like, if I can't cast it my way, and he didn't do it. And then kind of the rest is history. And so she was like, the actors who play the parts have to be from the same country as the characters that are in the book. And she told them, because the books weren't even all out yet, she was like, I'm not going to give you massive spoilers, but I gave them some insight. She wasn't there the thing that she told Alan Rickman? Yeah, exactly. So she's going to really probably make sure it continues to fit the vision. And
I think maybe the only difference I think between like Rings of Power and that is they may go into a bit more detail in the book with like they've got a series to go over details that the films couldn't cover in like 2 hours or an hour and a half, however long the films were. Yeah. So I think they're going to go over chapters that, of course, were not in the book. Like maybe they'll put in Goblet of Fire. They'll change out Neville giving Harry the Gillyweed to actually having Dobby be the one who gave Harry the Gillyweed.
That pissed me off so much that it's like, oh, we're going to bring in Dobby to die at the end of film 7 part 1, right? It's like we haven't seen him since the second movie. This isn't the ending of like your penultimate movie. No one cares anymore.
Exactly.
We don't know his character.
I mean, I just don't want, like, the problem with Dobby, right? Dobby's great, and it's really sad when he died. But remember, in the third film, he was like a complete annoyance. The reason
wasn't
why
in it.
he didn't.
That's why.
The reason,
That's why.
Second film over.
yeah, the reason why he didn't turn into Jar Jar Binks because his screen time was very low. That I feel like he would have turned into Jar Jar Binks if you had him so much more.
I don't think so. I really
No.
don't think so. It's like, so Jar Jar Binks was like 1999 Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
By the time they got to like 2002, we were getting Gollum and Dobby in the same year. And Cap, you were like 3 years old. I was there. I remember this.
I remember too.
You could have gone as a 3-year-old.
It was like a revolutionary thing. We suddenly had two goblin little troll characters in the same year that stole the show.
No,
Yeah, but like
I
David,
can't
like-
say that.
But David, like as a 3-year-old, I never looked at Dobby and Gollum and go, I love them so much. I never said.
You're probably the same as me when I was that age. Kind of like, oh, dirt! Let me eat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if I see like Spider-Man or like Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, oh yeah, they're great. But when I say Gollum and Dobby, I go, ugh. This was my reaction.
No, everyone loved Gollum, everyone loved Dobby. Like it, those characters worked back then. But obviously, then what is it? Winky? What was the girl that they cut out of the movies?
Which
Right.
one?
Winky.
Like, can you be
The
able to...
house elf that they cut out that was meant to be, because they did have Creature,
Yeah.
but there
Dobby's
is another
girlfriend.
one. Yeah,
Was it Winky?
Winky.
In the kitchens, right?
yeah. Girl, house elf. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
only
Winky.
read- yeah.
Dobby with the bow.
Yeah, and so they'll bring in all of these characters. Go on, Dev, go for it.
So, first of all, I have to point out one thing. In Lord of the Rings, I was a royalty. In Harry Potter, they're slaves.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, speaking of like cute mascot creatures and stuff, my big question for the podcast that I like teased earlier in the chat was, what would happen if Minions fought the Gremlins?
If
Oh.
Minions fought Gremlins.
Yes.
Aren't the
Gremlins would
minions
win, mate. Gremlins would
Aren't the-
win, mate.
Aren't the minions indestructible?
Yeah, they're indestructible. You can't die.
Yeah. So like even if the gremlins eat them, they'll be in the stomach, or they will call them Big Boss, and they'll start
Wait,
working
so
for the
have you ever
gremlins,
seen-
and inevitably the goblins will
Gremlins
die
in
because
Gizmo?
they start working for them.
Huh?
So
You mean
they-
Gremlins is in Gizmo?
Yes.
Well, yeah, the Gremlins would lose. Like that, they have like major flaws. They don't have intelligence, and if they get sunlight or water, these are like their weaknesses. There you go.
I would like to
Okay,
remind
so
this.
Dave, let me ask you a question.
Don't listen,
since you've
Gizmo.
got
It's
Gizmo
okay.
there.
It's okay, Gizmo. It's okay. Just ignore
Dave,
them.
if you were to pour water on that, are you taking advantage of Gizmo?
If I pour water on Gizmo, I'll be electrocuted.
No, if you pour water on him, are do you need to be on some register or something for impregnating a mogwai
What?
against
Oh,
his
shut him
will?
on! Shut up!
Oh my god.
My wife just turned him on. You little bastard. Who's
Right,
staying here
Cat.
now? Go away.
In terms of Minion versus Gremlins, right? Let's assume that the Minions started working for Gremlins, and if their weakness is the sunlight and water, there's actually a famous scene in the Minions movie where they started working for Count Dracula, and on his birthday, they had a big cake, and they woke him up and like cleared the window and said "Happy Birthday," and the Dracula died. So they might accidentally kill him, even though they don't intend to.
You know, I can never understand why we haven't got Gremlins 3 yet. Like that was in the 80s and it hasn't happened, and yet it seems so marketable. I would like if I had the power suddenly, and I don't know, is that Warner Brothers? Because didn't they have like Looney Tunes at the beginning of Gremlins 2? Yeah, so Jesus, if Warner Brothers own Gremlins, they should take advantage of this.
I think you're opening the floodgates to the classic horror tropes. You know, you got you know, you do a sequel, then you do another one which is in like a massive city, then you got one in space, and then you got one in, you know, some sort of bizarro world, and
you do Gremlins 3, and it's like it wraps up the trilogy or whatever. But how about you say, look, this isn't a reboot. Well, no, this is an Elseworld story of Gremlins, but it's a straight up horror film. So when they turn into monsters, they're literally monsters. Imagine if they did that as a side story. That would be awesome.
Speaking of monsters, like, have you guys gone and seen Nosferatu yet?
No, I wanted to see it yesterday. I wasn't able to. Have you seen it, Cap?
I've not yet.
Have you seen the first 25 minutes of it somehow?
I've not yet, but like I heard really good things about it. Everyone says like it's really good, and like they actually made vampires scary again.
I plan to see it. It'll be Friday. There's a live extreme improv show. If you're in London, come and see it at the Camden Comedy Club tomorrow. But otherwise, I'll have to see it Friday now, if I'm able to this week. But yeah, I really want to see that. The trailers looked good, and all of the reviews for it have been really, really strong.
But I hate the fact that like they give Robert Eggers, right? That's the director.
I don't know.
So I hate the fact that they gave him Nosferatu instead of Dracula. Just like if anyone's gonna be in a good vampire movie, it should be Dracula, folks.
Nosferatu is the original vampire.
No, it's Dracula.
Vampire movie. Nosferatu is the original vampire movie.
That's only because they didn't get the rights to Dracula.
Yes!
That movie is so old that Dracula was still in copyright, which just sounds crazy.
Yes.
It's fine. The original is great. The remake is going to be great. Dracula can suck it.
Okay, how many of you have actually watched the original Nosferatu movie? You have?
I have.
Did you like it?
Yes!
Why?
I like those old sort of movie stars. I like the music. I like the acting. I like just the whole...
You like the music? It's a silent movie.
The music that goes with it, yo nutball.
Yeah, that's a new thing. They don't have the original music that went with it. That's
no, poo to you with knobs on. I like it.
I think there genuinely is stuff to like about it. I think it could be edited into a 5-minute montage, and then you'd be like, "That's really good." But it is a chore to watch. Because the amount of times I've seen it probably about 20 times. I had to like study it at like college and stuff. It was awful. But I'll tell you what. Speaking of the music, if you watch the original Bela Lugosi Dracula film, I haven't seen it in many years. I only watched it once because there is no music in it. And it was such a chore to get through. And I was like, if you change the soundtrack to this, it's going to be like a great film. But we've lost Dev. He is retreated into the crypt. But yeah, like I do what
hot sauce killed him.
Nosferatu. But what I was going to say is, I think there is something sexy about the new film being Nosferatu rather than Dracula. If they did a new Dracula film, even if it was exactly the same as whatever this Nosferatu remake is, I think there is something that just doesn't sound quite as... Because there is mystique to Dracula, but obviously it's been so done. Mm-hmm. But Nosferatu, I think there was a remake in the 80s, quite possibly in Germany. There was the film Shadow of the Vampire with Willem Dafoe, which we've discussed on the show before. And then there's this. Shadow of the Vampire. Willem Dafoe plays the actor who played Nosferatu. I've said this on the show if you weren't there, Dave. And the idea of Shadow of the Vampire is that the director who hired the actor to play Nosferatu was actually a vampire. It's a great concept for a film. It's better as an idea than the actual thing. So Willem Dafoe, this is the role that got him the role of Green Goblin.
Okay.
He's like, like this. And I think it's Eddie Izzard plays the actor who plays Hutter. And when Nosferatu Max Schreck comes in and they film the first scene afterwards, like Eddie Izzard's character's like, wow, he's like really believable. And John Malkovich plays the director, and he's like Edward Manu or whatever it was, and he's like, yeah, he's really a method actor, so you can, he'll only ever speak to you in his vampire makeup, and that's because he's really a vampire. It's a great concept for a film.
Okay.
Go on, Cap.
I just hate the fact that that elf-eared, bunny-toothed, bald vampire takes to get all the glory, and the most coolest Dracula vampire is still stuck in limbo. Like, come on, guys,
No, mate. Bela Lugosi's dead.
No, do you know though? I tell you what, I think this is a lot more frightening. If you came up against that in real life, that is terrifying.
Actually, if you look at like in the Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, it's basically about vampires. And like the elder vampire, they kind of went with like Nosferatu's design, and the main bad guy was more Dracula design. So yeah, and I get the bald, scary look, but again, like he looks more like an elf turned vampire than like Dracula type of thing.
Well, that's the thing, mate. We've had vampires that look human. That's what makes them somewhat scary because they look like everybody else. But then you got a creature that looks like that, and people are still thinking, "Oh, he's just a regular Joe."
You know what? Though? It doesn't work out.
You just go to a Starbucks and you see that, Mr. Olaf.
I can't find. Maybe I shouldn't even try. I can't find what Nosferatu looks like in the new movie. So maybe they've really protected it.
Yeah, I feel like it's really scary, and it's like again, like we are past the point of making vampires scary. The more the allure of the vampires are much more greater than them being actually scary. It's never been like that. I think like with vampires, but like Dave said, your face. They do it again. Dave. You do it better. So they're guarding that face much better because they know it's gonna creep the heck out of them. Like imagine a jump scare from that face. You're like in the closet.
I don't know. Bill Skarsgård did a good job with it.
He's the Nosferatu. He is the one who's playing Nosferatu, and he played the Crow and it fucked. But like in this, he had a revival in the same year, so like his career is like a good mark. I also heard the news. There's like some things going around, but like this was never really sure that Luke Evans wanted to bring back Dracula Untold and do a sequel with it. And I thought, like, I love that film. Dracula Untold was like really good. It's not a horror film, but like Dracula, the ancient Impaler story was like really fun. Kind of like Castlevania a bit. So I really like that one, and I really think if they do bring back the MonsterVerse, except they don't have Tom Cruise in it.
I think they could attempt it again at some point, but I think what announcing the Dark Universe and having Johnny Depp and Russell Crowe and all that sat there, Tom Cruise, they don't need to do something like that. They don't need to.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the same with the DCU. You didn't need James Gunn to sit there and be like, we're going to have Creature Commandos and then the Authority and then Batman, the Boy Wonder of Tomorrow, whatever, Supergirl, Girl of Tomorrow, something. How about that you just do a Superman movie?
Yeah.
And then you do another one. And then you do Batman. Because look at the Avengers. Iron Man was a movie, and they announced that, we're doing an Incredible Hulk film. And then at the end of Iron Man, when Nick Fury turns up, you're like, ooh, he's going to be a character in it. And then when you watch the end of the Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man turns up, you're like, wow, what's happening here? And if at any point it hadn't worked, you could have been like, oh yeah, do you remember that time that Iron Man had a cameo in Hulk? Yeah, they should have done something with that. But instead, you announce these huge things. Just do a really good Dracula movie. Do a really good Frank. Look what they did. In fact, I don't really like these films. Look what they did. They did a King Kong film. They did a Godzilla film. And then at the end, they were like, ooh, are they going to cross these over? And you just get people's intrigue. Don't announce it. Just do it.
Yeah.
So speaking of like the early 2000s, right? Warner Bros. Was like clinging because like they were just doing that. Marvel was like rising with their superhero films, but like remember, The Dark Knight, the Nolan movies dominated the box office, and Warner Bros. Also had the Harry Potter, which we knew that they were doing into a huge, like a sequel of films. Yeah. What the heck that happened was when they saw Avengers become so much of a success, they were like, instead, like they already knew how to do it, guys, because like they did it with the Harry Potterverse. They already did like good sequels of movies and brought to a good conclusion. And instead, they're like, we're gonna be Marvel again. That's why I tried. There's a good video that I actually saw which depicted the reason why they included Cyborg in the Justice League, even though he's more of a Teen Titans character, is mainly because they can have like an Iron Man character in it. Like, what is the like? I get it. You're a business person, like, but where the fuck have you been? Like, don't you go to movies? Don't you see like what works and what doesn't? Oh, that's a robot thing. We make a robot thing, but that's not as cool. What was your thinking behind it?
Yeah, I don't know. So all of these movie studios, to like fans like us, will be like, oh, they should do this, and they never seem to do what's cool. They just look at what something else that's worked, and they're like, oh, that worked. We need to do something like that, and they always feel like they're clutching.
Then why are they in the creative industry? Like, I just don't get it.
Money!
Money!
No, I get that, but like, you get like Marvel, right? You had Kevin Feige, who's like, who's gonna be like a little bit like Walt Disney's. Like, I'm gonna like be a hands-on like a producer thing, and I'm gonna do the best I can to create the best thing. So far, now he has turned a little bit loosely, but like before when he started it, that was his thing. Why can't Warner Brothers, like now they have James Gunn, but like I'm saying, like why wasn't there like a creative guy going, stop doing that shit? The movie matters first. Why wasn't there a guy in Warner Brothers? Specifically when they were good in the 2000s.
Well, yeah. What happened though? Because do you remember when Justice League came out? Obviously, Zack Snyder was filming. Yeah, but Zack Snyder was filming it. His daughter died. Yeah. They continued filming it, and then, even though it's not been fully said what happened, they said that actually he's decided that he won't continue filming it, and Joss Whedon, who was doing some rewrites, is going to take over. And then it turned out that that probably wasn't true, and that Snyder was forced out. Yeah. Whether or not if there was any coup by Joss Whedon, who knows, or whether it was just that they tried to put him in place. But they were like, well, if this film needed this much reshoots and rework, which it clearly did because we saw the Snyder Cut in the end. Hello, Dev. Dev's back. We saw the Snyder Cut in the end, and it was very, very different to the Justice League. What was said at the time was that they wanted that movie to come out before Christmas, and that's because the executives would get a bonus if it did. So nothing to do with the creative. They should have delayed it, and after that, there was like 2 or 3 changes in the management at like Warner Brothers, and they were like, oh yeah, the things that were treated, because like the guy, I forget the guy who played Cyborg's name, Ray something, wasn't it? I can't remember. But anyway, he said that maybe Joss Whedon, I don't want to say, not that anyone cares about what I'm saying here, but like, I don't know if there was some like accusations about racism or something like this. Gal Gadot, there was some accusations about that whole bit where the Flash falls into her boobs. They had to film it with her stunt double because she said, I ain't doing this. And apparently Joss Whedon was like, if you ain't doing this, you're finished. Even though she had already been in the first Wonder Woman film, right? And so the guy who played Cyborg in particular was just like, no, I'm not dropping it. You know, you really treated us badly. And obviously Henry Cavill, the mustache, may have literally been a thing because they obviously had to spend a shitload of money to do a botch job on that, and so they fell out with everyone. And so when they announced that they are going to do the Snyder Cut, they then said it's going to be on HBO Max and it's going to be 4 one-hour specials. I think behind the scenes, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Snyder, whoever, they said we signed up to be in a movie. So if you want to do this 4-part thing to get people to sign up to your streaming service for a month, or for like across 2 months or whatever, you're going to have to pay us for 4 films. And I think the whole thing blew up, and that's why they were like, we're not bringing back Henry Cavill. The Rock then was like, I don't want to fight Shazam. So this was a whole other thing. He was I don't want to fight Shazam. And so then they were like, shit, we've got The Rock over here, who's a pain. We've got Henry Cavill over here, who's a pain. The fans are over here saying, continue Snyder, it's a pain. And they were like, burn it all down. So creative, I think, was the very last of their priorities.
But like speaking of like Snyder, I do because the recent video that I saw like Snyder talking about the reason is Snyder wasn't a big fan of superheroes either. Even actually the reason why he liked Watchmen because like it's not glorifying superheroes, instead it was like bastardizing them. Because like Watchmen is more of an anti-superhero film than superheroes, like hopeful characters. And he even said this a lot of times that he likes to break down characters more than build them up. So again, I like Man of Steel, but I do have to say, why did you get this guy in the first place to do that? If he's like, I'm gonna break down all the characters. I mean, like even Superman, right? The main problem that Superman had, like snapping necks and like, but like it's still forgivable. I think they could have still made him a hopeful guy. But like with Batman, they literally made him go. It's like all the way. It's like no redemption for Batman at all. They just made him go.
Yeah, but we never got Batman's story. Like from Batman v Superman, we got Justice League, where Batman just seemed like the utter cuck amongst men, where he had absolutely he had to just sit there and just watch as everyone else saved the world. It's like this used to be my city. And then he just be like Aquaman with his fingers all down it, right?
No, even that, David, I would have forgiven. But like again, like he was the Punisher, not Batman. He was basically in that movie going, duh, duh, duh.
If we'd seen how it had paid off with The Batman by Batfleck, right? If we'd seen what he was coming up with, we may have seen that story. We would have found out the backstory to Joker killing Jason Todd and all this other stuff. We didn't get any of Batman's story.
Poor Jason.
Yeah.
Poor Jason.
Yeah. It's not been
Jason's
a good
ghost
Jason.
is like, oh, Batfleck is my fault now? Jason's ghost is like saying.
Yeah.
But like, again, like I think James Gunn, because the Creature Commandos, I'm not really sure if he's really a good decision. I am really good for like the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I've seen that, and like even the hard moments in that film is kind of worth it because he does give a good ending and makes us all feel better and warm inside with musical numbers. But like after seeing Creature Commandos, and like, oh fuck, why did I watch this episode? Like it was literally that kind of feeling. I'm really scared for Superman. Like, I'm really scared, guys.
Well, apparently the test screenings haven't been good, if that is true. Apparently people have seen it, and the tone of it, this was a week or two ago, but they said it's like Captain America the First Avenger, which I thought was a good film.
Yeah, that's
and
a good film.
What was the other film it was compared to? Did anyone else see this news?
For which film?
Superman, the new one. They said it was like Captain America, and they gave some other film that it was like, and both of them were films that did all right, but apparently they're going to do some reshoots. It didn't blow audiences away. Yeah. But I would have... Look, just make a Superman film. Then do some storyline where eventually... And I think I said this before. Maybe I said it to you guys. Maybe I said it to someone else. So you've got Matt Reeves, the Batman, and the Penguin, and they worked, right? When you do Superman 2 or Superman Justice League film, and Batman turns up, just have Robert Pattinson walk in, do some Batman stuff, and then just say in an interview, well, when, Robert Pattinson is Warner Brothers Batman. So when you see him with Superman, they interact. When you see him in Batman movies, it's just Batman. Just do that. Simple.
Yeah.
Dev.
I just looked it up, and it's Captain America and the Mummy.
The Mummy. Oh, Cap, what do you make of that?
Wait, which Mummy?
I'm weirdly happy. Where's Brendan Fraser? I want Brendan. Like, is it the Tom Cruise Mummy or is it Brendan Fraser Mummy?
Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Brendan Fraser.
Okay, I'm all in. All chips are down, folks. All chips are down.
Here's the hilarious thing. Brendan Fraser was nearly part of the DCU, but he got cut.
Yeah. In Batgirl, right?
Yeah.
But in any case, like, I'm all in, boys. I'm all in. If it's the Mummy, I'm all in. It's one of my favorite films. It's just the 90s. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, I don't know. Okay, guys. Go on.
The only thing I would suggest is change, which you can, by the way, because they did it with Sonic and so much more. Make the suit cool, guys. I'm telling you, they're really forgetting the rule of cool, because, like, aesthetically, no one had a problem with Man of Steel. No one looked at Man of Steel and that didn't look right.
Yes,
Really?
it did. No red.
Okay, David. Okay,
no
David.
good.
The underpants, right? Give him a
Yeah.
cool underpants. This is not a cool underpants.
No, they're not cool. I agree. I am glad that Corin Sweat has got underpants on. But let me show you something here. I don't even know what this is. Look here. It's meant to literally just be a pair of briefs. Whereas Corin Sweat, oh my god, that is scary. The Corin Sweat Superman, you can't really see it here, but they are like shorts. They are shorts, and it's got too much on the leg. Look, there's Brandon Routh. It is a pair of underpants. Christopher Reeve, pair of underpants. And then, again, you can't see it here, but I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up because we have seen it.
The David Cornswell, for some reason, it just doesn't feel as a big of a figure as Superman for some weird reason. Like,
because he's wearing a suit that's too big for him. It's got, like, from the very beginning, every time they showed it, it's just like he hasn't filled it out enough. It's got, like, weird folds and things.
or just put pads. If he's not that big, just put pads.
Well, look, if that's true, look, he's doing his work.
Yeah, but like, so that's clearly the suit.
But yeah, it's because it's got these weird lines. Like, what is that? It is literally Y pants. It's got like a bit where he can grab his cock out. Like
that's where he stores his glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense to me, Dave. Yeah, right. But look, what are these weird bulges?
But like, I did see
Cold
a
day
meme.
on set.
David, maybe you're the one who shared this. Like, I saw like it's Star-Lord suit, but it's Superman, basically.
Wasn't me. That's a good point, though.
It's literally Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord suit. It's just like with Superman logo on it.
Okay, let's find that Star-Lord. Well, let's just look Star-Lord. Wait, what?
There's a comparison, direct comparison to it.
Oh,
Like
okay, hang on.
Star-Lord.
Wait. So is it this one? Is it this? Is it this?
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. There's the Batman. So it's got the collar. You're right. I was going to comment on the collar. But the Batman has, if we go on to the Batman has this annoying collar as well.
Yeah, it's like it's wearing a raincoat for some reason.
Well, you don't need a collar. This is what I mean.
It's year
This is
one.
inferior.
It's year one. Give him time.
No.
Give him time.
What?
It's year fucking
but you remember-
one.
You remember in Captain America Civil War, where you saw Spider-Man on like a YouTube video and he had a shit costume?
Yes.
And then Iron Man was like,
Damn, you need an upgrade.
You're gonna need a good outfit.
It's year one Batman.
No, he literally says, David, you are in desperate need of an upgrade. Like, this is what Tony Stark literally says.
Like, I can say it 100% genuinely. When you look at the different Spider-Man costumes, it took me literal years to look at, like, from Spider-Man, played by Tobey Maguire. I can't actually find... They've always got their mask off, which is annoying now. 3 Spider-Man. Let's just put in 3 Spider-Man. Right, 3. Right, so it should bring them up. And they've always got their damn masks off. But anyway, I'll show you the thing. When I'd look at their costumes, when I first saw this one, I was like, how is it different to this one? Because unless you saw it side by side, you were just like, yeah, it's Spider-Man suit. You're like, oh, well, the eye's a bit bigger. But then you'd see him, and it's like, it's the same costume again. I think it's got some black bits here. But basically, every single time, it was like, it's Spider-Man. Whereas when they've done Batman, it's just like, what is this collar? When they've done Superman, it's like, why has he got these weird lines on him and he's got like weird shorts on? Stop making changes for the sake of it.
And
It's year one Batman.
It's not year one Superman, because apparently he's in mid-flow here.
Well, okay, my question is, like, did we forget how cool things look? Like, literally, like, the West entirely forgot how to make things cool. Maybe that's the problem. They're like, we'll make it boring. That's their new motto. Like the '90s was too edgy. We need to be more colorful and boring.
The 90s wasn't edgy. The 90s was George Clooney's Batman.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about '90s Batman. I'm talking like '90s style in general. It's like
And what's wrong with the '90s style, Cap?
The dark and like kind of dark.
How would
stuff.
you know? You're not even born.
So like, but look, no,
What are
actually,
the
the 90s gave us the bat nipples.
Yeah, that's the 2000s, right?
No,
No.
that was the '90s,
Batman and
mate.
Robin was 1997,
Six?
and then '97, I think, because it was.
Okay, I'm talking about Tim Burton's '90s. I'm going back to Tim Burton '90s.
That's
That
89.
was dark.
That's '89.
You can't base fashion designs on the year of films, you idiots.
But look. So, did anyone complain about the Christian Bale Batman suit?
No.
Yes,
And
how did he
I-
move his neck? No,
I think
I did complain.
Batfleck.
How did he move his neck?
Well, he does.
Lighter armor. It fixed the problem because Batman
Yeah.
could never turn his head without turning his whole body. With this, he could turn his head so he could fight better. They fixed the
Yeah.
problem.
And you know what? And the amazing thing with it, they actually addressed it. Because look, here he was, I think, in the first one, and he can't turn his head.
Yep.
And so when he sat there with Morgan Freeman, and Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman was like, "Oh, you want to be able to turn your head?" And Christian Bale's like, "Makes it easier to back up out the drive." That was the perfect way to address it. Perfect.
Yeah.
There's like in that movie scene as well where they ask like if you like make it more maneuverable, then the padding won't be as tough and you get shot even more. They do say that like when they change the suit, there's like they do put good details in it. But
Yeah,
the
you're
other
right.
thing, right? But the other thing, right? If you look at the first Batman Begins Batman, that picture that does look silly. That's why it's been named as like that. But the thing is, they never showed him silly in scenes. They always showed him with like really, and I like that. It is silly if you focus on it, but the cinematography made it sure that it turns out to look intimidating and cool. They never really focus on the details. They always Batman shadow striking or fighting. So again, there's a lot of things goes along with the aesthetic. So that's my. I think that even the new Batman film, aesthetic wise, they're really good. My only problem that why don't you put Robert Pattinson in huge boots? He's short as the bad guys. Like the bad guys are like taller than him. So that's why I'm saying put some boots on him, make him look taller at least.
It's year one.
Batman is 6'4". Batman is 6'4". It's okay, unless it's Batman in diapers, you can't give that excuse to Batman in year
You know, I don't think this has got Pattinson on, but this is a really good edit. So we can
like
really see
Christian
it.
Bale was 6'1".
So if you just see this and then we come across to Pattinson. Where's Pattinson, the Batman? I can't see him again. Shit.
Oh no!
Right, but what is this weird thing here? Why does it look like?
It has his adrenaline and drugs.
It's just weird. It looks out of place. And look, it looks like he's got things that pro skaters would wear to protect themselves.
Okay, so I can justify this.
Thank
Go
you,
on,
Dev.
It's year one, and he's cobbled together.
Thank you. Thank
Cobbled
you.
together.
He's a billionaire. It's not cobbled together.
David,
but
David,
couple
David,
together.
I have the perfect quote for them. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Okay.
Okay, what did you think of when Pattinson took the cowl off, and you could see the black makeup around his eyes? Nice detail.
They stole
or is
that
it-
from Arrow. He stole
Right,
that from Arrow.
Yeah, no, but Batman always had the black makeup around his eyes, and it was always just
When?
never addressed. Always. Okay, let's bring up the
Yeah.
comparison again.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally all. Okay, I'll bring up Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
Michael, you did it would be there. He'd take it off, and then it wouldn't be there, right? But-
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael Keaton Batman face.
Because I remember him in the second film taking off his helmet, but he didn't have the eyeliner.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I remember,
exactly. This is what I mean. So look, let's bring this up here, because otherwise there's too much white showing. So you can see that
You had to put that
he
in.
has the black makeup, but then he doesn't here. Whereas Pattinson was the first one where they actually addressed it. Look at that face. Right.
Hang on.
I'll tell you something though. There is something that is so good about this costume. It's so good.
It's sleek.
He looks
It's
like a toy.
Well, that might actually be a toy. It says life-size statue. Of course, it looks like a toy. But I don't know. This what was that? What?
It's the Kid
I don't
Crusader. What about it?
I
It's
don't
tier
know.
1.
Okay, guys. Out of these, and obviously Pattinson is there as well.
Oh, good God.
What do you rank as the best Batman suits?
Ben Affleck's one and also George Clooney one.
Really?
This one. Wow.
No, not that one.
Well, this
no,
one.
not that one. The other one, the first one.
Batman. Oh, George Clooney is this one. These two are George Clooney.
Okay, no, then Val
Wait, what is
Kilmer.
this
So
one?
That's his first one.
Wow.
That's the first suit that he wears in the film.
But it hasn't got the Batman and Robin logo. Because that's Batman Forever. That's Batman and Robin. I
guess that.
cool.
No, I think that is the same suit.
Okay.
It's the same suit from the film, but then he goes into the one with the white on it when he goes and fights Mr. Freeze. That's like in the finale, though.
Yeah. Good.
My favorite is Batfleck and Val Kilmer one, because like the Val Kilmer one looks like year one Batman. He's more slick, but he's still up to date, not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
You know, it's so tough. Like, I think these were all really good. I think all, I didn't even actually, as like a 10-year-old, I didn't care that it got nipples. I didn't think about it, if I'm honest. Right? I thought they were all good. I thought these were all good. I thought that one was a really cool way to it brought in an aspect of, we're going to have grey and stuff like this. It's not just going to be black.
He's like from the Visceral Arkham games. Like
it got like the shorter spikes on the top. But then, Pattinson, I think, is the first bad one since like the 1940s.
I posted my favorite Batman suit.
Yeah, it's I approve, Dev. I approve.
Okay. Coffee.
Oh no!
Oh my
Kevin
God!
Conroy.
Nothing wrong with Kevin Conroy, Cap. He is Batman.
No, that's nothing wrong with him. But like him in a wheelchair, like walking wheelchair, is not good.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cap. I'll tell you what. I'll go get the world's strongest man. Get him to break your spine, and then you go try and walk around absolutely fine. We'll simulate what happened with Bane, and then you tell me how you do after maybe say a month.
I mean, like if it's Tom Hardy Bane, then I'm probably able to walk it off because like he's not actually that big. They just like made him look big.
Well, in that universe, it was Clark.
Okay, but doesn't this guy look like he genuinely looks like Lionel Luthor from Smallville?
No, he
Yes, he does. John Glover.
Luthor is bald.
No,
people.
Lionel Cap. It's his dad.
Lionel.
Yeah, I'll show you. Did you not watch Smallville, Cap?
No, not yet.
Oh my God!
Fact.
It's not the best thing ever, but it's so worth it.
Also, David, fun fact. Lionel Luthor was in.
Check this out. So look, Kevin Conroy, Lionel Luthor, same dude. Like genuinely.
Hey, he has my hair.
He does. You're right.
David, fun fact. He was also in.
Couple Davis Lionel Luthor.
Yeah.
He was also in Batman and Robin.
Oh.
What, the guy who plays Lionel Luthor?
Yes.
Who?
He's the guy that makes Bane.
Is he really? That's amazing.
Look at it.
Holy
Google it,
shit!
Google
Yeah.
Jason
What's
Woodruff.
the actor's name?
John Glover.
John Glover. Are you sure?
He's the scientist that made Bane. Huh.
I don't think he's John Glover.
He is.
What?
No, John Glover is someone else.
Batman.
That isn't John Glover.
Okay.
Wait, okay, there's two John Glovers. Who's this guy? I really recognise this guy. He looks familiar as well. Who is that guy?
Batman and Robin.
Look, it says John Glover there. Do you
Yeah.
recognise this guy? What do I know this guy from?
It says TARDIS on there, so I
Is he
wouldn't
in
know.
Doctor Who? Okay, I'm
Was
going
he?
to look. I'm going to investigate who that John Glover is. John Glover, IMDb. But okay, so have you seen the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray?
No.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! We're past Christmas now, so don't leave it a year. But watch Scrooged, starring Bill Murray. It's a brilliant. It's set in the 80s. Bill Murray is a TV executive, and all of the Scrooge stuff happens to him. But the guy who played Lionel Luthor plays this sleazy rival TV executive. He's really good.
I only
Yeah,
just watched
that
Home
is-
Alone for the first time on Christmas.
You watched Home Alone for the first time.
Yeah,
Finally, Dave knows Kevin.
I know Steve McAllister.
Wow.
Well, because remember, it was during a quiz that we did on the show, and I had Kevin McAllister at Home Alone. I couldn't think of his name, and I went, are you the kid from Home Alone? You went,
Steve.
what's his name? Steve.
Oh wow! No, I don't remember.
Because I didn't know it was Kevin McAllister.
I still thought you were actually kidding. You were doing it for the joke, and then realized you actually don't know.
No, I didn't know,
Oh,
but now I do know, and it is a really good film.
Okay, so hang on. This is an almighty deep cut, but this guy, Dev, Cap, you wouldn't have seen this surely. Harry Enfield's television program.
Oh,
He played
I've seen
Mr.
it once, I've seen
Chumley
it once.
Warner.
I
Do you remember
wouldn't.
that?
I wasn't born at that
Oh
point, and
my
even
god!
then,
In terms of like sketch comedy, some of the like second or third series, and perhaps about maybe the 2 or 3 series of Harry Enfield and Chums are some of the funniest sketch comedy ever. And then it kind of went downhill. But there's so many really, really funny Harry Enfield and Chums sketches. But anyway, that's another thing. Guys, any other hot takes?
Yes.
Are we gonna move on, Dave?
I want to do it. I want to talk it about. I said I'd talk about this. Doctor Who.
Yes.
What the fuck were they thinking? It was
Which one, Dave? Which one?
joy to all of it, but Joy to the World specifically. That
Yeah.
was just a mess of a Christmas special. It had a good, Moffat was behind it, and you could tell this was probably one left over from his Matt Smith days. The Time Hotel idea, okay, you've done a hotel before with the God Complex, and okay, fine. But then you had a paradoxical event where the future Doctor met his past self, which the universe should have imploded at that point.
I thought they explained that well enough.
They
They
didn't.
said about go the long way.
Yeah, but
So
that's
is there
that.
anything-
But it's
is there anything
still a
you can do wrong?
paradox. It's still a paradox. You
Did he
can't.
do
You can't.
anything that caused it to be a paradox?
Yeah, he met his past self. He shouldn't.
And
He
he's
shouldn't
done
be able
that a
to do
load of
that.
times. He's done that a load of times.
That's different.
He didn't give him any information. He didn't give him any information.
He did. He said you had to go the long way around. He set him on the path to get to that position.
But he didn't have a choice but to go the long way around.
I digress.
Okay.
I digress.
No, I take your
the
point, I
whole
take
the whole
your
thing
point.
with Villain Guard as well, bringing them back. So they're going to be the big bad corporation. They're representing every big bad corporation. Fine, haha. Let's get over with. Why are Daleks not here? That's all I'm asking. Joy as a character, I thought she was the most boring and uninteresting character ever. I was more interested in the woman at the hotel.
Yeah.
Why wasn't she in the story more than Joy was? Because with Joy, because I'm going to spoil it because I don't care. She dies in the end.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any emotional weight towards her because we haven't spent any time with her.
I did. I felt joy.
And yeah, they did touch upon I won't go into it too much. They touched on a detail.
I only have one question because there's Joy. Did they pause at the Doctor and said did you ever wonder what's this happening inside someone's head? Because Joy is in it.
No, because that would have made it less entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. It was just. I just felt that this entire story was a complete and utter mess. Of all the, even the ratings have shown now that it just failed. It absolutely felt. People probably had it on in the background anyway because it was at 5 p.m. in UK, so it was in a dead slot anyway. So people probably had it on in the background, and/or they were spending time with family and didn't have the TV turned on. People watched Wallace and Gromit more than they watched Doctor Who.
That was really good.
That was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this George of the World thing, I give it a 1 out of 5.
Ooh. I might have given it slightly more than that, but I thought it was a utterly pointless. Again, Moffat. There's a thing. All of the Christmas stories that Moffat was in charge of. Mostly. I won't say that absolutely. They were all just kind of like you could cut them out of the series. They had no long-lasting meaning. Yep. Go on, Deb.
Okay, so I haven't watched Doctor Who, apart from the anniversary special, since Captain Jack broke the Doctor out of prison. So a couple of years, right?
You've not missed much then, Dev.
In the anniversary, the toy maker says, "I'm not a big bad, but they're coming." Did they ever say who that was?
No, I don't know they have.
I think it might have been referencing to the pantheon of the pantheon of gods with Sutek and that.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like Sutek's not a god; he's an alien. Period.
Sutek's storyline was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen Doctor Who do, where they were like, "I think this is Susan technology." It's like, why would there be left like anagram clues? This was the whole Professor Yana thing, but done a lot worse. Because that was, "You are not alone." That meant nothing. That acronym meant nothing. And they did it again. And suddenly it's like, so maybe this is my daughter that I haven't seen in like 2,000 years or something like this. It's like you have to wait to stumble upon her. That's the best you can do. It's clearly the Rani. This Mrs. Flood is the Rani, clearly.
I will say, touching on that point, you're going on about Susan. They actually talked on it a little bit in the last series with them going, "Oh, I don't know if Susan's alive. We don't know if anyone's alive." You're kidding me, right? The Master wiped out all of Gallifrey. If Susan was anywhere, she would have come to find you, considering she was in the fucking Time War. She was there. So why would you not go looking for her to see if she survived or not?
How do you know she was there, Dave, without saying the word Big Finish?
I can say the word Big Finish because it is in Big Finish. The Eighth Doctor interfered with a time cube going to Susan to enlist her into the Time War, but she enlisted by herself because she felt she had to fight. If the Doctor wasn't going to, then she was going to. But Sutek as well, he came back in Big Finish as well, and he had some great stories. But the problem is that having these big reveals, like Doctor Who's got this problem now where they have to go big at the end. They have to get this big bad from like the classic series to come back and do it. First it was like, oh, we've got to have Daleks in the finale. Now we've got to have the Time Lords come back. Now we've got to have every single villain unite to stop the Doctor. So stop going for big scale. You don't have to go massive.
I agree.
Drop hints like you've done, but you don't have to go big.
Well, yeah.
And stop crying.
Oh my God! Stop crying! Stop crying! Okay, I'll touch quickly on going big, and then I'll go on to the crying thing. So, the first Christopher Eccleston episode, which might have just been called Dalek, where there was just one, right? They made that one creature destroy an army. This one formidable Dalek. And then after that, they all just get wiped out so easily when there's legions of spaceships of them. You can make just one thing a massive threat. It's a lot scarier if there is just one. The crying thing. So the Doctor had to go the long way in the Christmas episode. And then he starts working in this hotel, or living in this hotel, or whatever. And everyone is sad. What? Right?
No, the reason why everyone's crying.
All right, okay. No, okay, so that whole thing with the other woman there, and she's just like, oh, well, do you have a boyfriend? It's like, she meant to fancy him. Because do they not have deeper conversations so that she's fallen in love? She's fallen in love with
So
him.
was it like, do you
Like,
have a
it's
boyfriend?
been-
No!
But it's been 6 months, and she's like, "Oh, so you're going to the boy?" We haven't even asked like what your living arrangement is. Like, it was ill-advised. It was just, it didn't make sense for her supposedly having this emotional attachment to the Doctor that they haven't even had a basic conversation yet. The whole thing sucks. But
Oh, well, here's a question for you: how did he get the code?
the code.
The
Well,
code.
Oh
Yeah.
no, the code. The code.
We don't know. We don't know how he got it.
I can answer it though, because it's the same problem. What the first answer, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, does actually work here for the reason that I've said this with Back to the Future as well. There has to have been, and I said it with Harry Potter with the time turner, because we've discussed this on the show before with the time turner in Harry Potter. They show you different perspectives of the same event. You don't ever see a bad version of time. So all this means is that the Doctor went through some tricky way to get the code, met himself and said, it will work out, but now he's just knows the code because he found it out at some point because he was able to tell him already.
But we didn't see it. We didn't get
but the
anything
whole
to show
point
that
is-
he got the code.
But you can create a closed loop of time so that the original version never needs to happen because you already have the answer. It is that you are right. That is a paradox. But if you can say that within the time hotel you can create a closed loop of time, then they can explain it that way.
But they never show him getting the code. They never show anything he does trying to get this
No,
code.
this is the same as Harry Potter saying, I knew I could say Expecto Patronum because I saw myself do it last time. There has to be an original version of time where he discovered that he could do it on his own. But once he'd done that, the other version of himself witnessed it and now knew what to do. So it's that principle.
It sucked. End of.
Okay, fair enough. Guys, we're going to begin to wrap things up here. If there's anything else that you need to release, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Nerd rage!
Oh.
No.
Oh no, you invoked it.
Okay, I've had a rage moment.
Nerd rage!
I did hear that Microsoft turned down the opportunity to do an episode on Secret Level with Doom, merging Doom and Halo together for one episode, and they turned it down.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
How would they do? How would they go about that now? Because Doom is like demons, isn't it?
Yeah, but like Secret Level was like, we can do it, and apparently Microsoft said no, Jeff Bezos.
I think that's a shame because I think something like the concept of Secret Level, you can just do these one-off stories that are slightly weird, and then it doesn't ever have to mean anything for the rest of the series. You know, I think if there was, like how I said, you could do like a serious Gremlins movie. It's a straight-up horror. I think, you know, you could just do the Doctor Who Star Trek spin-off just as, hey, this is a special thing. We're going to do it. It doesn't count in either universe, but we're just going to do it for the fun of it. I think there should be room to do something like that. Dave, don't you don't invoke it. Right, anyway, let's begin to wrap things up here. Guys, if you have any geeky recommendations, let it be known. Dev, where can the people find you?
They can find me on TikTok and Twitch under the name FWDAT. And my geeky recommendation is What If Season 3, which is the final season of the show.
Wow, okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. I got really bored by season 2, so I gave up. But if it picks up again, Cap.
You can catch me on Sodis, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And you can go watch Mufasa and Scar do their review on the Mufasa The Lion King movie. It's a sketch review. Go check it out. It's really good. Gives you what you expect from the film with a lot of jokes. My recommendation of the week is going to be an anime called MF Ghost, which is a racing anime. Yeah, MotoGP really stressed me out, guys. I don't know why I'm just like watching racing stuff now. It's a really good anime. It's a racing anime. I really like stuff like that, so it's cool. So check that. There's 2 seasons of that already.
Okie dokie, Dave.
You can find me here on Extreme on various shows, and check out my YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming. We have a new series starting up soon with Resident Evil 2. Check out my Twitch channel as well, which is also at DaveMC Gaming. We have a schedule. We're streaming on Friday till Tuesdays at 7 p.m. UK time, where you can find the links to my Discord server and in my shop, where we have version 2 of my Misty character. Prepare for the awesome Power Eldritch Blast with the version 2 of Misty and Mork on the shop as well. And we have Tutti Frutti Never Dies there as well, which Tutti Fruttis are on Tuesdays. So come and check out The Legend of Tutti Frutti.
Awesome stuff. My name is David Pistansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at David Pistansky, spelled P-U-S-T-A-N-S-K-Y. Check out all things Geek Battle. Check out Geek Battle Gaming. I just did a deep dive into Final Fight for the ZX Spectrum, and it is as terrible as it sounds if you know what the ZX Spectrum is. But with that, my recommendation is, go see Nosferatu. Keep that franchise going so Dracula can never haunt us again.
No!
Until next time, stay safe. Live long and prosper.
Nerd Rage!